I am Emma Larson, a 34-year-old family therapist in Willow Creek, Oregon, a rain-soaked town of 5,000 where secrets ignite like wildfire through the misty pines. For 12 years, I've guided families through their darkest hours, divorce, addiction, betrayal, never imagining my own life would become a mirror of their pain. For privacy, I'm using pseudonyms. My profession demands discretion, and this story cuts too deep to share under my real name. My husband, Nathan Brooks, was the man I thought I'd grow old with. His crooked smile and boundless ambition once the heartbeat of my world. We met in college, fell deeply in love, and built a life together in this quiet corner of the Pacific Northwest. But that life shattered when I uncovered his affair, sparking a storm of heartbreak, rage, and a relentless fight to reclaim my power. What unfolded was a saga of betrayal, vicious family feuds, public scandals, legal conspiracies, and a battle that turned our sleepy town into a cauldron of gossip, vengeance, and redemption. Nathan and I met at the University of Oregon in Eugene, where I was immersed in psychology, studying trauma and resilience, and he was a business major dreaming of craft beer stardom. His charisma was magnetic, tall with a crooked smile that could charm a room. We'd spend weekends hiking the Mackenzie River Trail, plotting a future where my therapy practice and his brewery would thrive. He'd talk for hours about hops and fermentation, his eyes alight with passion, and I'd listen, captivated by his vision. We married young, under a willow tree in Willow Creek, our new home, a town where everyone knows your coffee order at the Rusty Mug and gossip flows like syrup at Mabel's Diner. I opened my practice, counseling families through their struggles, while Nathan launched Brooks Brew Co., a craft brewery that became the town's pride. His IPAs won regional awards, and his tap room, with its exposed beams, string lights, and live folk music, drew crowds from Portland to Eugene. We bought a craftsman-style house with a wraparound porch, where I'd sip chamomile tea and grade case notes, while Nathan tinkered in his homebrew shed. Those early years were golden. Laughter, shared dreams, barbecues with neighbors, and plans for a family we never spoke of aloud. A dream I held close, but sensed slipping away as Nathan's ambition grew. We'd host summer parties, the backyard filled with music and chatter, our love a beacon for friends. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming, invisible to me then, but clear in hindsight. Success poisoned Nathan. As the brewery expanded, with new locations in Portland and Bend, he grew distant, staying out late for investor meetings or tastings. His phone was always face down, his texts guarded. He'd snap when I asked about his day, accusing me of prying or not trusting him. I'm a therapist. I know the signs of deceit, avoidance, defensiveness, subtle jabs, but love clouded my judgment. I told myself it was the stress of running a business, that his brewery was his world. Yet his jabs grew crueler, mocking my frumpy therapist sweaters or calling me too serious for his vibrant life of craft beer and late-night parties. He'd compare me to the fun women at his taproom, their youth and boldness a contrast to my steady professionalism. Each comment chipped away at my confidence, planting seeds of doubt that rooted deep, making me question my worth. My best friend, Claire, who runs Sweet Willow Bakery, noticed the shift. Over coffee at her shop, surrounded by the warm scent of fresh sourdough, she warned, "Emma, something's off with Nathan. He's not the man you married. You deserve better." I brushed it off, clinging to hope, but her words haunted me, a quiet alarm I couldn't silence. I'd lie awake at night, replaying his insults, wondering when I'd lost the man who once called me his muse. The unease became unbearable one rainy October evening, while Nathan was on another business trip to Portland. For months, I'd felt it. The way he avoided my gaze, the way his meetings stretched into weekends, the way he'd flinch when I reached for him. I found his old tablet in a drawer, buried under brewery invoices. It was logged into an email account I didn't recognize. My hands trembled as I opened a thread with Lila, a bartender at his Portland taproom. The words were a gut punch. "You're the spark I've been missing, Lila. Emma is so dull, always buried in her clients' sob stories. She's let herself go. Mom jeans and cardigans can't compare to your fire." Photos of Lila, curvy, confident, all red lipstick and tight dresses, came with receipts for hotel stays in Seattle and San Francisco, a sapphire necklace I'd thought was meant for me. and a leased car in her name. He'd mocked my appearance, joking that my therapist vibe was killing his vibe. The betrayal was a tidal wave. I sank to the living room floor, surrounded by our life. Framed photos from our Cannon Beach honeymoon, the quilt his mother, Diane, made us, and sobbed. He'd called me worthless, flaunted his affair like a trophy. The pain was raw, a knife twisting in my chest. But as tears dried, anger surged, hot and fierce. I was Emma Larson, a woman who'd rebuilt countless lives. He wouldn't break me. I spent hours that night, my therapist's mind kicking in, methodically saving every email, photo, and receipt, building an arsenal for the fight ahead. I called him that night, my voice shaking but steady. "Nathan, are you cheating on me? I have proof." His response was ice cold, cutting through the phone like a blade. "Emma, you're blowing this out of proportion. You're always stuck in your therapy world, saving everyone but us. Lila's exciting, vibrant, not some frumpy counselor who thinks she's saving the world. I'm done hiding her. I want a divorce. My lawyer will be in touch. Pack your stuff. I don't want you in my house when I get back." The phone went dead. His words echoed. Boring, unattractive, not enough. I stood there, tears streaming, the room spinning, but a spark ignited within me. He'd underestimated me, and that was his first mistake. I stayed up until dawn, organizing evidence, my grief channeling into resolve. I wasn't just a scorned wife. I was a strategist, ready to fight for what was mine. The next morning, Tom, Nathan's brewery manager and longtime friend, delivered divorce papers with a sympathetic look. "Nathan wants this quick, Emma. I'm so sorry." I took the papers, my mind racing. Then I remembered our prenup, signed when Nathan started the brewery. I'd insisted on a clause, having seen too many clients lose everything in messy divorces. Nathan had laughed it off, swearing he'd never stray, his signature bold on the page. Now, that clause was my lifeline, a sword to wield against his betrayal. I moved to my inherited cabin on the edge of town, a cozy haven amid towering pines and fog. Its wooden walls and crackling fireplace, a stark contrast to our polished craftsman home. I packed my essentials, books, clothes, a few photos, leaving behind the memories tied to Nathan's world. I texted him, "Moved out as requested. Took my frumpy self out of your perfect life. Good luck." His reply was smug, dripping with arrogance. "Smart move, Emma. My lawyer's the best in the state. You won't touch my brewery. Stay away." I fired back, my fingers steady. "Tell your lawyer about the prenup, Nathan. And don't contact me directly. Use him." He scoffed. "You're making a scene. My lawyer, Greg Harper, will handle it. You're nothing compared to him." I smirked, a quiet resolve settling in. Greg's good, but he's not ready for me. 2 days later, I met Greg at the Rusty Mug, the air thick with espresso and wet wool from the rain pounding outside. Greg, a local attorney I'd counseled through his own divorce 5 years ago, looked confident until he saw me. His hand shook as he set down his espresso, his eyes widening. "Emma, I didn't know you were Nathan's wife," he stammered, clearly thrown. "Maiden name for work," I said, sliding into the booth with my folder of evidence. Screenshots of Nathan's emails, photos of him and Lila, receipts for hotel stays, jewelry, a leased car, credit card statements showing thousands spent on her. "Let's cut to it, Greg. Nathan's cheating with Lila, his bartender, and he's lying to you about dragging this out. Did he mention the prenup?" Greg's face paled, his fingers twitching on the table. "Prenup? No, he didn't." I slid the document across, followed by the evidence, each page a nail in Nathan's coffin. "I've got everything, Greg. He's unfaithful, and I'm entitled to half his brewery. I'm not here to play games." Greg flipped through the papers, his expression grim, sweat beading on his brow. "He told me you were just a staff member at a counseling center, not you. I need to talk to him. This changes everything." I stood, my voice steady but sharp. "You're a good lawyer, Greg, but Nathan lied to you. He underestimated me. Don't make that mistake." I walked out into the rain, my heart pounding, but my head clear. The sadness lingered, a dull ache, but it was drowned out by a burning need for justice. Willow Creek's gossip mill exploded, the town's small size amplifying every whisper. By the next week, Nathan's affair was the talk of Mabel's diner, the grocery store, even my therapy office. Clients gave me knowing looks, their sympathy tinged with curiosity. Friends dropped by my cabin with casseroles, wine, and hugs, their support a lifeline. Claire was my rock, her bakery a sanctuary where we'd dissect the drama over coffee and warm croissants. "You're stronger than this, Emma," she said, her eyes fierce. "Nathan's an idiot, and he's about to learn what happens when you mess with you." She was right. I'd helped clients navigate betrayal, knew the stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, and the tactics of narcissists like Nathan. I threw myself into work, leading a divorce support group at my office. The women's stories, cheating spouses, gaslighting, reclaiming their lives, mirrored mine, each session a mirror reflecting my own pain and resolve. They called me their anchor, but they were mine, their courage fueling my determination to hold Nathan accountable. The drama escalated when Nathan's mother, Diane, entered the fray, her presence like a storm cloud over Willow Creek. Diane, a domineering widow who'd always seen me as beneath her golden boy, called me one evening, her voice dripping with venom. "Emma, you're destroying Nathan with these lies," she hissed. "Lila's just a friend. Drop this nonsense and come home." I laughed bitterly, my grip tightening on the phone. "Diane, I have proof of his affair. Emails, photos, receipts. He filed for divorce. Tell him to face the prenup." She sputtered. "You'll regret crossing this family. We built that brewery, not you." Her threat only steeled me. Diane had always coddled Nathan, excusing his flaws, blaming me for his stress. She began spreading lies around town, claiming I'd fabricated the affair to steal his business. Her campaign reached a boiling point at Mabel's diner, where she confronted me during the lunch rush, her voice echoing off the checkered tiles. "You're a vengeful woman, Emma," she shouted, her face red, drawing every eye in the room. "You'll ruin my son with your greed." I stayed calm, aware of the crowd, locals, clients, even the mayor's wife. "Diane, your son cheated. The prenup's clear. Tell him to stop hiding." The diner went silent, forks frozen mid-bite, as Diane stormed out, her heels clicking furiously. The town's support swung my way. Clients, neighbors, strangers rallied behind me, sharing stories of Nathan's arrogance at the tap room, his dismissive attitude towards staff, his flirtations with customers. Diane's vendetta grew darker when she enlisted a local influencer, Tara Mills, to amplify her lies. Tara, a lifestyle blogger with a large following, posted a scathing article titled "The Therapist's Revenge," accusing me of manipulating Nathan for profit. The post gained traction, but Tara hadn't counted on my network. Jenna, my PR consultant, traced Tara's funding to Diane, who'd paid her $5,000. Mia, the journalist, exposed the scheme in the Willow Post, publishing bank records and Tara's texts admitting the deal. Tara's followers turned on her, and she issued a public apology, deleting her blog in shame. Diane's influence waned, her allies dwindling as the town saw her desperation. Nathan's sister, Rachel, a nurse and my closest ally in his family, reached out, her voice trembling with guilt. Over tea at my cabin, the fireplace casting shadows on the walls, she apologized. "Emma, I'm horrified by Nathan's actions. Mom's enabling him, but I'm on your side. He can't lie his way out of this." Rachel's support was a lifeline, but it sparked a vicious family rift. Diane accused her of betraying family loyalty, screaming at her during a tense dinner at the Brooks family home, where Rachel refused to back down. Nathan cut Rachel off, calling her a traitor in a venomous voicemail that she played for me, tears in her eyes. "He's lost it, Emma," she said. "He thinks he's untouchable." Rachel's courage inspired me, and she agreed to testify about Nathan's controlling behavior, how he'd belittle me, dictate my schedule, criticize my cooking in front of guests, even mock my appearance at family gatherings. Her decision sent Diane into a rage, and she tried to bribe a hospital administrator to fire Rachel. But the administrator, a former client of mine, alerted Rachel, who recorded the call. The Brooks family feud became Willow Creek's biggest scandal, with neighbors taking sides, some defending Diane's Protective Mother Act, others praising Rachel's honesty. The Willow Post ran cryptic headlines about a brewery dynasty's downfall, fueling the town's obsession. The drama took a darker turn when Lila showed up at my office unannounced, her confidence as bold as her red lipstick and leather jacket. "Emma, we need to talk," she said, tossing her hair, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor. "Nathan's a mess because of you. Let him go." I stared, incredulous, my pulse racing. Let him go? He cheated, Lila. He filed for divorce. You think you can waltz in here and lecture me? She smirked, leaning against my desk. He deserves better than you. I'm his future, not some dowdy therapist. My anger flared, hot and sharp. You're a gold digger who chased a married man. You'll run when his money's gone, and you know it. Her face faltered, but she recovered, tossing a "you'll see" over her shoulder as she stormed out. The encounter spread through town like wildfire. Clients at the taproom began whispering about the other woman, and Lila's shifts grew tense as customers shunned her, some leaving pointed tips with notes saying, "Find your own man." Her reputation was crumbling, and I took a quiet satisfaction in watching her squirm. Lila's final stand came at a brewery event where she tried to confront me publicly, accusing me of ruining Nathan's life. Claire shut her down, shouting, "You broke a marriage, Lila. Own it." The crowd cheered and Lila fled, her bravado shattered. Nathan's desperation grew, and he appeared at my cabin 3 weeks later, looking like a ghost. Slumped shoulders, bloodshot eyes, his usual swagger gone. I let him in to avoid a scene, the rain pounding outside, the cabin's warmth a stark contrast to his misery. "Make it quick, Nathan," I said, arms crossed, standing by the fireplace. "You're not supposed to be here." He sank onto my couch, head in his hands, his voice low. "I can't find a lawyer, Emma. They know you, or they've seen the prenup. You're sabotaging me." I laughed, the sound echoing in the small space. "You did this to yourself. You lied to your lawyers, hid the prenup, thought you could bully me out of my share. You underestimated me." He started to cry, his shoulders shaking, his voice breaking. "The brewery's my life, Emma. Please don't take half. I'll give you the house, money, anything." I cut him off, my voice like steel. "You put that clause in the prenup, Nathan. You cheated, and now you think I'll let you off? I deserve that half after what you put me through." He begged, his eyes wet, his words desperate. "It was a mistake. I ended things with Lila. Can we try again? We were good together, Emma. We could be again." I stared, incredulous, my laughter sharp and bitter. "You think I'm that naive? You don't want me. You want your brewery. I'm done. Split the business, or I'll drag you through court until everyone in Willow Creek knows what a liar you are." The stakes rose when Nathan's business partner, Victor Malone, entered the fray, his presence like a snake in the grass. Victor, a slick investor who'd funded the brewery's expansion, saw me as a threat to his profits. He cornered me at the Rusty Mug one morning, his tailored suit out of place among the flannel-clad locals sipping their lattes. "Emma, you're making a mistake," he said, his tone oily, his eyes cold. "Drop the prenup claim, and I'll make it worth your while. Nathan's business keeps this town alive. Think of the jobs, the community." I leaned forward, unflinching, my voice low but firm. "Victor, your golden boy cheated. The prenup's ironclad. Back off, or I'll make sure the town knows you're profiting off his lies." Victor's smile faded, his jaw tight, but he left without another word. Rumors swirled that he was pressuring local lawyers not to take Nathan's case, hoping to force me into a lowball settlement, but my reputation as a therapist, having counseled half the town's elite, from judges to the mayor, held firm. No lawyer would touch a case against me with such damning evidence. Emails, photos, receipts, bank statements showing Nathan's lavish spending on Lila, thousands on trips, jewelry, a car she didn't deserve. Victor upped the ante by recruiting a brewery supplier, Carl Hawkins, who'd been overcharging Nathan for years. Carl, loyal to Victor, spread lies that I'd pressured Nathan into signing the prenup under duress. I hired a private investigator, Olivia, a former client who'd rebuilt her life after a toxic marriage, to dig into Carl's dealings. Olivia uncovered invoices showing Carl's inflated prices and kickbacks to Victor, which Mia published in the Willow Post. Carl's business collapsed as other clients dropped him, and Victor's credibility took another hit. Olivia became a key ally, her tenacity matching my own, and she joined my support group, sharing her story to inspire others. Nathan's next move was a low blow. He tried to sabotage my practice, spreading lies that I was unstable and unprofessional, even convincing a colleague, Dr. Laura Bennett, to question my ethics. Laura, a childhood friend who'd been my mentor, called me into her office, her expression guarded. "Emma, I've heard concerns about your mental state. Clients are talking. Maybe you should take a leave." I was stunned, my chest tightening. "Laura, you know me. Nathan's behind this. He's trying to discredit me because of the divorce." She hesitated, then sighed. "I believe you, but the rumors are hurting the practice. Be careful." The betrayal stung, but I uncovered Laura's motive. Victor had promised her a lucrative contract to counsel brewery employees if she sidelined me. I confronted her, my voice steady but furious. "Laura, you sold me out for Victor's money. I trusted you." She looked away, ashamed, and I walked out, vowing to protect my livelihood. I hired a PR consultant, Jenna, a sharp-witted barista at the Rusty Mug who'd studied marketing. Jenna launched a social media campaign, sharing testimonials from my clients about my compassion and skill. The backlash turned on Laura, who lost credibility and left town, her reputation tarnished. The drama peaked at Willow Creek's annual Harvest Festival, a muddy affair with craft booths, hayrides, and Nathan's Brewery sponsoring the beer tent. I was at Claire's bakery stall, handing out pumpkin scones, when Nathan, drunk and disheveled, spotted me. He stumbled over, his voice loud enough to draw a crowd. "Emma, don't take my brewery," he slurred, his hands flailing, beer splashing from his cup. "You're ruining my life." The crowd gasped, phones already recording. I stood tall, my voice calm but carrying. "You ruined your own life, Nathan. You cheated, you lied, and now you face the consequences." Diane rushed in, shrieking, "You're a monster, Emma! You've torn our family apart!" Rachel stepped forward, her nurse's scrubs stark against the festival's colors. "Mom, stop! Nathan did this. Emma's only taking what's hers." The festival froze, the air thick with tension, as Diane lunged at Rachel, her face twisted in fury. Claire and others pulled her back, and the crowd erupted in whispers. The footage went viral on local social media, shared by Mia, a journalist from the Willow Post who'd been in my support group. Mia's front-page story, Brewery Betrayal, A Town Divided, detailed Nathan's affair, Diane's lies, and my fight for justice, including Rachel's testimony and leaked texts from Lila, who'd bragged about landing a rich guy to taproom staff. Lila made a desperate move, posting a tearful video online claiming she was misunderstood and I was vindictive. It backfired spectacularly. Former taproom staff, led by a loyal worker, Ellie, who'd served drinks alongside Lila, leaked more texts showing her mocking Nathan's pathetic wife and boasting about her sugar daddy. Ellie, who'd grown close to me through my support group, became a fierce ally, rallying staff to expose Lila's lies. The town turned on Lila, and taproom customers began boycotting her shifts, leaving notes like homewrecker on receipts. Lila fled to Seattle, her reputation in tatters, her social media accounts deleted after a barrage of comments calling her out. The brewery's profits plummeted as locals boycotted, citing Nathan's dishonesty. Victor, desperate to save his investment, offered me a buyout, $500,000 to walk away from my half. I laughed in his face. "I'm keeping my share, Victor. You backed the wrong horse." The drama intensified at a town hall meeting where Nathan and Victor tried to rally support by claiming I was destroying jobs with my greedy claim. The meeting, held in the community center, was packed with locals, brewery employees, and reporters. Nathan took the podium, his voice shaky but defiant. "Emma's tearing down what we've built for this town," he said, gesturing to the crowd. "She's lying about me to take my brewery." I stood up, my heart racing but my voice steady. "Nathan, you cheated. The prenup you signed gives me half your business. You don't get to play victim." The room buzzed, and Mia stood holding up her phone. "I have texts from brewery staff confirming Nathan's affair and his attempts to hide it. Emma's telling the truth." Ellie spoke up, her voice clear. "He treated us like dirt, and he lied to Emma. She deserves her share." The crowd erupted, some cheering, others shouting at Nathan. Diane tried to defend him, but her voice was drowned out. Victor stormed out, his plan crumbling. The meeting cemented my support, with locals chanting justice for Emma as Nathan slunk away. A new betrayal hit when my childhood friend Becca, a realtor who'd helped us buy our Craftsman house, sided with Nathan. She'd been charmed by his charisma and Victor's promises of exclusive brewery listings. Becca spread rumors that I was unhinged, even leaking a client's confidential session notes to discredit me. The breach was devastating, but I traced it to her through a client who'd overheard her bragging at a bar. I confronted Becca at her office, my voice trembling with hurt. "You betrayed me for Nathan's money, Becca. I trusted you." She stammered, "I was just trying to help the town." I walked away, cutting her off, and reported her to the state real estate board, leading to a suspension of her license. Jenna organized a Support Emma petition that gathered 2,000 signatures, reinforcing the town's support. Victor's wife, Elise, added another layer of drama, confronting me at the Rusty Mug. "You're destroying my husband's legacy," she said, her voice low but venomous. "Back off, or I'll make sure you regret it." I held her gaze. "Elise, Victor's protecting a cheater. Tell him to come clean, or he'll lose more than his investment." Elise's threat was empty. She later apologized, revealing Victor's pressure on her to intimidate me. Her confession, shared with Mia, became another nail in Victor's coffin. The drama took a sinister turn when I uncovered a scheme by Nathan and a corrupt town official, Councilman Roger Tate, to discredit me. Tate, a regular at Nathan's taproom, had been promised a stake in the brewery if he could sway the town council to block my legal claims, citing economic harm. Olivia, my private investigator, uncovered Tate's financial ties to Victor, and at a second town hall meeting, Mia presented evidence of their collusion, including emails where Tate promised to handle Emma. The crowd booed Tate off the stage, and he resigned the next day, facing an ethics investigation. Claire, enraged by the attempt to undermine me, organized a protest outside the brewery, with dozens of locals holding signs reading "Truth over Lies" and "Emma's fight is ours." The protest, covered by regional news, turned the tide further against Nathan. A brewery employee, Derek, loyal to Nathan, tried to sabotage my case by forging documents suggesting I'd known about the affair and consented to it, voiding the prenup. Ellie overheard Derek bragging about it at the taproom and alerted me. I confronted Derek, who crumbled under pressure, admitting Nathan had paid him $10,000. His confession, recorded by Jenna, was handed to Sarah, my attorney, strengthening my case. Derek was fired, and the brewery staff, led by Ellie, began openly supporting me, refusing to work overtime for Nathan. An unexpected emotional blow came when my estranged father, Thomas, reached out after years of absence. He'd left when I was a child, his alcoholism tearing our family apart. Now sober, he'd heard about my divorce through the town's gossip and wrote me a letter begging to reconnect. I met him at the Rusty Mug, my heart guarded. "Emma, I failed you," he said, his hands trembling. "But I'm proud of your strength. Let me help." His sincerity cracked my defenses, and I let him join my support circle, where he shared his recovery story, inspiring my group. His presence added a new layer to my fight. I wasn't just reclaiming my life from Nathan, but healing old wounds. Thomas began volunteering at my community fund, helping women in crisis, his redemption mirroring my own. The courtroom showdown was electric. Sarah presented my evidence: emails, photos, receipts, Rachel's testimony, Ellie's statement, Derek's confession, bank records. Nathan's new lawyer, a desperate hire from Portland, tried to argue I'd provoked his affair. But the judge, a no-nonsense woman who'd attended my workshops, shut him down. "Mr. Brooks, your actions have consequences," she said. "The prenup is clear." Diane, in the gallery, gasped, her last hope fading. Nathan's final gambit was a smear campaign, hiring a shady PR firm to plant stories that I'd entrapped him into the prenup. The lies fell apart when Mia published a follow-up exposé, revealing Victor's role in funding the campaign and Diane's attempts to bribe Judge Harlan to delay my case. Harlan, a former client, recused himself and reported Diane, who faced ethics complaints and fled to Portland, shunned by the town. Nathan was alone, his allies deserting him. He tried one last plea, showing up at my cabin with wilted roses, his voice cracking. "Emma, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Let's start over. I'll cut Lila out, I swear." I looked at him, a man I once loved, now a shadow. "Nathan, you showed me who you are. I'm not your fallback. Sign the papers, or I'll see you in court." He left, defeated, the roses discarded in my trash. After 5 months of stalling, Nathan agreed to a mutual split. I got half of Brooks Brew Co., a stake worth millions. He tried to buy me out, but his finances were in ruins, thousands blown on Lila, legal fees, and a failing brewery. He sold our Craftsman house to cover debts, now renting a cramped apartment downtown, a far cry from the mansion he'd flaunted. Diane, humiliated, stayed in Portland, her social circle gone. Rachel and I grew closer, her support a reminder that family isn't always blood. Victor's brewery investments tanked, and he left town, his reputation in shambles. Lila, now a pariah, vanished from social media, her gold digging exposed. I'm thriving. I appointed a manager for my brewery share, and the income, with my practice, let me buy a sleek condo overlooking the Willamette River, its floor-to-ceiling windows a daily reminder of my freedom. I upgraded my wardrobe, trading frumpy sweaters for tailored blazers, my confidence reborn. I'm dating cautiously, grounded by Claire, Rachel, Ellie, and my support group, who've become my chosen family. Mia's reporting keeps the town's support behind me, and I've started a podcast, Rebuilding Resilience, sharing stories of overcoming betrayal, with guest appearances from Rachel, Ellie, and Mia. The podcast gained a regional following, cementing my role as a beacon of strength. I launched a community fund with brewery profits, supporting women's shelters and local businesses, earning the town's respect. The brewery, once Nathan's pride, is now half mine, and I've hired a team to innovate, launching a new IPA, Phoenix Rising, in honor of my journey. Customers love it, and the taproom's buzzing again, under my influence. Nathan thought he could discard me, but I turned the tables. I didn't just survive. I emerged stronger, richer, happier. Karma hit hard, his empire crumbling, his mistress gone, his family fractured. Willow Creek, once a stage for my pain, is now my triumph, and I'm writing my next chapter on my terms, a testament to the strength I found in the wreckage of betrayal.